De IRGC zijn een bende islamonazis die Iran bezetten en het moedige Iraanse volk systematisch afslachten. Het regime van Iran martelt, moordt en verkracht erop los. Het is ook een van de grootste terreursponsors op aarde en wil via het voeren van jihad ook ons islamiseren. Dit regime bedreigt nu ook expliciet vrijheidslievende Iraniërs in het Westen en in België. Deze regering beseft eigenlijk niet met wat voor meedogenloze doodsvijand we te maken hebben. Want er bevinden zich al te veel agenten van de IRGC en aanhangers van het islamitische regime op ons grondgebied. En ik zal u er binnenkort een aantal aanwijzen, minister. Spoor ze op, zet ze samen met hun gezin het land uit en zorg ervoor dat geen enkele marionet van het islamitische regime van Iran ooit nog naar België kan komen.
This regime will fall. Let us all help it fall fast. People in Iran are back on the streets because of poverty, because of repression, because they cannot survive like this. The regime responds with brutality beyond comprehension. They deliberately shoot peaceful protesters in the face. Thousands have been killed, many more injured, their faces turned into permanent warnings, a message written in blood. Do not dare to resist. Many families still wait for calls that never come. They don't know whether their loved ones returned home, vanished into prisons, or lied unnamed among the dead. Political prisoners have been cut off for weeks. The internet has been shut down to keep everything in the dark. This regime has lost every last inch of legitimacy. It is politically bankrupt. It is economically hollow, morally dead. It will fall. The only question is when. And how many more lives will it destroy before it does? Dear colleagues, it is our responsibility to shorten that timeline, and it is on Iranians to then decide what's next. I know this is not the usual toolbox, but nothing about this regime is normal. And compared to the risks that people take in the streets of Iran every day, what I'm asking for, High Representative, is very little. Designate the Revolutionary Guard as a terror organization. We know who is blocking. Spain, Italy and France. Dear colleagues, with your nice speeches, reach out to your governments, make them reconsider so we can do this by January 29. Fully enforce sanctions, not selectively, not symbolically, but completely. Expel Iranian diplomats who abuse their diplomatic privileges to spread disinformation and intimidate Iranians here in Europe. Why should we tolerate their repression on our soil any longer? Invest in technologies that bypass internet shutdowns. Autocrats are already learning from this. We must learn faster. And let us all together send an unmistakable sign to Tehran. Release the prisoners. Stop the executions. We will keep shining light where you seek darkness. This regime will fall. Let us all help it fall fast. Baroye Azadi.
There is no force more powerful than a united people who refuse to kneel. From the streets of Tehran to the plains of Fars, from Kurdistan's mountains to Baluchistan's shores, from Khorasan to Azerbaijan's province, the entire country is standing up. This brutal Islamic regime must not be managed, negotiated with or normalized. It must be ended. Casting it into the dustbin of history must be our shared responsibility. To the Commission, what are you waiting for? Label IRGC as a terrorist organization. Throw out Iranian diplomats out of the EU. Sanction the mullahs and support the opposition. Condemnations without real words are meaningless. Act now. And to those who are exhausted, wounded and grieving, we are with you. The day is coming when the prisons are silent, when the streets belong to the people, when children learn the name of the tyrants, the mullahs, only in the history books. Justice will prevail, dignity will be restored, and Iran will once for all stand in freedom and equality for its whole population. Rich, poor, middle class, Persian, Kurds, Baluchis, Baha'is, Azeris, Arabs, and all others.
The Iranians have risen up bravely against their torturers. For 46 years, the nation has been occupied by an Islamist dictatorship. They've been brutalized, murdered, and for too long have their cries gone unheard. Not anymore. What we are seeing in Iran is a revolution that will change the world. Also, the EU needs to act swiftly. Stop the appeasement policy, tighten sanctions, and isolate the regime that executes its own people. Proscribe the IRGC as a terrorist organization. Stop the trade with Iran. Listen to the Iranian people and invite Mr. Reza Pahlavi to address the parliament, the man whose name the people chant in the streets of Iran. Coordinate attacks with the US to weaken the regime to collapse. We can either forever be seen as traitors and hypocrites, or we can help the Iranians rid themselves of this regime.
First of all, I let historians write history. I'm here to make history, not to write it. Second, you hear the Iranian people standing behind me and calling my name. This doesn't occur incidentally. They have known my track record. They know my unwavering commitment to democracy and human rights. This has been my position the day I started and remains my position to this day. They know they can trust me because they've never seen me waver from this. And ultimately, what I'm trying to make sure is the final element that will prove to the Iranians that are in full control of their own destiny, is to turn power back to them, a power that has been taken away from them by this regime, which we are fighting today. That's my commitment, and they can trust me on that.
Extremism and poverty. The real Iran is a different Iran, a beautiful, peace-loving and flourishing Iran. It is the Iran that existed before the Islamic Republic, and it is the Iran that will rise again from its ashes the day the Islamic Republic falls. So let me be clear about how a free Iran will act towards its neighbors and the world.
Where are the thousands of people who protested on the streets for Palestinians? Why aren't they protesting now that Iranians are being executed by their government seeking the liberties that we have? I can tell you why. Because the protesters only care if the Jews are doing something. And that's a harsh reality, because when Muslims are killing Muslims, they don't give a flying frick, right? And for some reason, the woke liberals don't want to protest Muslims. If Iran falls, Hamas falls, Hezbollah falls. If Hamas falls, then the Palestinian Authority will not be controlled by a terrorist organization that ruins the lives of Palestinians. And then the Palestinians can finally work with the Israelis and build a society that's peaceful. Our media is barely covering what's going on in Iran. I don't understand why people aren't speaking up for the wonderful Persian people. My wish is that the son of the Shah, the prince, comes back to Iran, because Iran used to be a modern society where women didn't have to wear hijabs, where business was booming. The Persians that we know around the world are business people. They have a rich culture. They're beautiful. They're entertaining. They're hilarious. They're hardworking. The country is now controlled by religious lunatics who are living in prehistoric times, and nobody is talking about it. And from that base in Iran, they are fostering terrorism in the whole region. If Iran falls, that region will change, the lives of Palestinians will be better, and a lot of liberals will have egg on their face because they didn't protest the right thing at the right time.
Στο θέμα του Ιράν αποδεικνύεται για ακόμα μια φορά ότι η αριστερά είναι ο καρκίνος της Ευρώπης. Το μουσουλμανικό θεοκρατικό καθεστώς στο Ιράν φυλακίζει, βασανίζει και εκτελεί όποιον διαφωνεί μαζί του. Θύματά του χιλιάδες πολίτες, γυναίκες, δημοσιογράφοι. Όλοι όσοι έχουν διαφορετική άποψη κινδυνεύουν. Μαζί τους κινδυνεύουν και η δημοκρατία και η ελευθερία. Κι όμως η Ευρώπη σιωπά. Πού είναι οι πορείες για τους ξυλοδαρμούς και τις δολοφονίες γυναικών που δεν φορούν μπουρκα και μαντίλα? Πού είναι οι οργανωμένες διαμαρτυρίες έξω από τις πρεσβείες του Ιράν? Πού είναι η Γκρέτα? Πού είναι η Γαλλίδα Ευρωβουλευτής Ρίμα Χασάν, ο Ιάσον Αποστολόπουλος, η Πέρκα και όλα τα ναυάγια που ταξίδευαν με το Μαντλίν και τις φλωτίλες για τα τηλεοπτικά σόου υπέρ των Παλαιστινίων? Πού είναι οι φρυπαλαιστινάκηδες, τους έφαγε η γάτα τη γλώσσα? Μήπως γιατί η αριστερά χαϊδεύει το σκληρό μουσουλμανικό καθεστώς του Ιράν? Μήπως γιατί τα πετροδόλαρα του Ιράν είναι πολλά? Μήπως γιατί δεν θέλουν να στεναχωρήσουν την Τουρκία και το Κατάρ? Ή μήπως γιατί απλώς είναι ψεύτες και γελοί υποκριτές? Ας μην ξεχνάμε ότι η ευρωπαϊκή και ειδικά η γαλλική αριστερά είχε καλωσορίσει τον Αγιατολάχ Χομεϊνί και την ανατροπή του Σάχη. Και τι κατάφεραν? Να γυρίσουν το Ιράν 100 χρόνια πίσω. Να ζουν οι γυναίκες σε καθεστώς τρόμου με μηδενικά δικαιώματα. Γι' αυτό, στο θέμα του Ιράν, αποδεικνύεται για ακόμα μια φορά ότι η αριστερά είναι ο καρκίνος της Ευρώπης. Δεν είναι με τον άνθρωπο, ούτε με τον αδύναμο, ούτε με τις γυναίκες. Είναι μόνο με ό,τι εξυπηρετεί το αφήγημά τους. Και οι Ιρανοί πολίτες που διψούν για δημοκρατία και ελευθερία και το πληρώνουν με τη ζωή τους, δεν το εξυπηρετούν. Οπότε, ας πεθάνουν. Καρφί δεν σας καίγεται. Καρφί δεν σας καίγεται. Free Iran.
Even Moscow is considering, what if this regime is no longer there? Then what? The Chinese are doing the same. They've been very quiet lately, not taking any position. A stable Iran, a strong Iran, a democratic Iran will not be antagonistic to anyone's interest, including Russia and China. What we want as Iranians is a fair deal. We don't want to be taken advantage of in lopsided, unfair deals that is against the national interest of Iran simply because a corrupt regime and weak is offering concessions left and right.
But what is going on right now in Iran is something that should give us great thought. Back in 2015, President Obama, the European Union, the British Foreign Office, and then later on Boris Johnson and all the rest did a deal with this appalling, evil regime that has been there for 50 years, that has continued their theocratic, appalling, barbarous rule. And I want to say this to those brave men and women out there on the streets of Tehran and elsewhere now, fighting to get back their freedoms, their liberties. As far as I'm concerned right now, long live the revolution. I pray for the Persian people.